feel the need to tell you how good this movie is. No, that was pretty bad. Top Gun Maverick is a sequel 36 years in the making, and it stars Tom Cruise, Jennifer Connelly, and Miles Teller. After more than 30 years of service as one of the Navy's top aviators, Pete Mitchell is where he belongs, pushing the envelope as a courageous test pilot and dodging the advancement in rank that would ground him. Now look, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I was not looking forward to this movie. When it comes to the original Top Gun, I've never been a huge fan of it. It wasn't until this rewatch right before this movie, I rewatched it and I kind of gained more appreciation for it. That movie is a total product of its time and I like to call it cheesy goodness. When it comes to this movie, I wasn't looking forward to it like I said, but then I started to hear little whispers saying that this movie was incredible. It gained like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes at one point in time. And then as we got closer and closer to today, I was getting so excited. I come out of this movie and I am in absolute awe. This is in contention for my favorite movie of the year. This is a masterclass in filmmaking. I feel like the biggest thing to start off with is the cast. You have Tom Cruise obviously reprising his role as Maverick, and I'm willing to say that he is arguably the best he has ever been. Yes, you heard me right. After decades of starring in blockbusters, indie dramas, the work he turned in here is wonderful, and like I said, arguably the best work we've ever seen from him. You can tell, especially in the emotional moments, that this is a passion project for him. You can tell how much he adores the really story of Top Gun, and this movie has been trying to get made for years. So finally getting to see it on the big screen in 2022, 36 years after that original movie. It's awesome for me to see it for one, but just I can't imagine what Tom Cruise is thinking. Just having it open this weekend in front of audiences across the world must be so amazing, and you can see on screen how much this movie means to him. Then you have Jennifer Connelly, who is Tom Cruise's new love interest, kind of replacing Kelly McGillis. I thought her performance for one was great, but also the chemistry between Cruise and her was excellent. I think a lot of people kind of criticized the first Top Gun for not having the best chemistry between the two leads, but I would say in this movie their chemistry feels believable and you feel like there's background between the two characters. They obviously express that they've known each other for a while, but you also feel as an audience member that you're catching right up with them. It feels like such little years have passed. You kind of get sucked into the relationship between both of them, and I thought it was a strong point in the movie. And I don't want to get into spoilers too much, but you do know that Val Kilmer is returning in this movie as he is listed on the IMDb credits list, and all I'll say is I was tearing up at his entrance in the movie. It was perfectly done, didn't feel too rushed. It felt perfect for where Val Kilmer unfortunately is in this point in his life, and I thought that was just so well done. But as for the newer cast, you got Miles Teller, who was great. He plays Rooster, the son of Goose, and if you haven't seen the original Top Gun, I won't get into specifics within that movie. Definitely watch that one before seeing this one though. But I actually thought this was really good casting. He looks like Goose in that first movie. He got the mustache. He works really well with Tom Cruise. There's a lot of connection between the two characters, which I won't get into too much because I want you to experience it for yourself. But again, just another connection that was very well done, well written. It felt expanded on, not too rushed over or glossed over. I also really like John Hamm. It's always fun seeing him, as well as Glenn Powell, who kind of plays the new D-bag. He has some fun moments in the movie, and especially when you get to the end of it, it's a lot of fun. One thing I wasn't expecting in this movie was how funny it would be. This movie has funny moments, it has emotional moments, but there's a lot of moments where the audience was erupting with laughter. And I was right there with them. There were a lot of funny moments in this movie, and I was fairly surprised as of kind of how self-aware, it was. But also the writing and just how specific sequences play out, they're funny. But like I said, this movie has the emotional moments too. There are some gut punches in this movie. I actually brought a couple tears to my eye in specific scenes in the movie. I found myself incredibly invested, which I never thought I would be saying in a Top Gun movie. But like I said, the stuff with Val Kilmer, then the scenes in the third act, again, won't get into them, but there are a couple scenes in the third act. Oh, I really got emotional. But emotional in the sense that, it'll definitely bring a tear to your eye, but I got chills by the end of it. By the time the credits roll, I had chills from top to bottom. Man. I'm still on cloud 9 talking about it. I think another thing you have to mention is the direction from Joseph Kosinski. Now, I haven't seen any of his other previous work, but holy shit, man, he directs the shit out of these sequences, and especially the aerial sequences, which I will talk about in a second. There are some gorgeous shots in this movie. I think Joseph Kosinski did a really nice job in the director's chair, especially in those aerial sequences, which are jaw-dropping. That's kind of what I meant when I was talking about a masterclass in filmmaking. I mean, god damn, those are sequences to study. I've seen a couple interviews before seeing the movie, and I heard the actors had training to be a real pilot and had to kind of navigate these big aircrafts, and so I can't even imagine what it was like to fly those damn things. But you feel like you are in the cockpit, you're in this sequence with them. Again, that goes to the directing, but just overall, all the aerial sequences, especially in IMAX, I can't say enough. IMAX is the way to go with this movie. Or Dolby, 4DX, all that stuff. That is how you see this movie. But I can actually see myself going back, obviously, to watch this movie again, which I would love to do, and I'm very eager to do. But also look back at those aerial sequences. Such great filmmaking. I think the real word to describe all of these sequences, and I mentioned it, but it's immersive. And that's how I would just describe this movie as a whole. Not only was I immersed in the story, but also those action sequences. I thought the score was terrific. Lady Gaga actually did a lot of behind the scenes with the music, and her song Hold My Hand should come for that Oscar. But I think my biggest takeaway from this movie, and there's a lot of takeaways I have, but the final hour might just be the best final hour of any movie that I've seen since Avengers Endgame. When you think of Avengers Endgame, you think of that final hour. Now, when I think of Top Gun Maverick, I think of that final hour. That's how good it is. It is a total emotional roller coaster. You'll be, oh yeah, oh no. It's filled with all those ups and downs. I was on the edge of my seat. You know, when you talk about movies, you talk about edge of your seat thrillers, you talk about edge of your seat action sequences. This is what you're talking about with edge of your seat action sequences. I was getting physically tense in my seat, which is very rare for me, I'll say that. There's a bunch of moments, and this is not a critique I have with the movie, I actually think it's a good thing. There are a bunch of moments when you think the movie's over. There's actually like 2 of those moments. The screen will cut to black, and you just go, oh, and I'm so glad they didn't leave us hanging there. Again, 2 things that come to mind, like there are 2 scenes in this movie that come to mind when I think of, and just goes fade to black, but then it comes back. And the one big one, the first one, you think it's over, cuts to black, but then there's like 20, almost 30 minutes left in the movie, which is a thrill ride. I'm just gonna repeat myself, total roller coaster, especially after that first cut to black, and there's the big chunk of the movie that's still left. I was just so captivated. I came out of the movie and all I could think to myself was, this is why you go to the movie theater. I'm calling it right now. This is in contention for the blockbuster of the summer, and we're just getting going. If you couldn't tell already, I kinda love this movie. Not kinda, I do. It is incredible, phenomenal filmmaking, terrific performances. It's funny, heartwarming, emotional, like tearjerker at times. I've obviously told you how much I love those aerial sequences, and they are worth the price of admission alone. Plus the sound mixing and sound editing in those scenes are Oscar worthy. But something that I gotta tell you before going to this movie, if you haven't seen the original movie, do yourself a favor and watch it. I would say that is essential, and especially to maybe maximize the viewing experience. I actually appreciate that movie more now after having seen this one. So definitely do that if you're hesitant to watch that first movie. Yes, it's cheesy, but it's a lot of fun. Or if you have seen the movie before and you haven't seen it in a while, I would definitely recommend rewatching it. Because whether you're just watching it for the first time or you are rewatching it, you'll pick up on little callbacks. That yes, the movie kind of shows you what it's referring to, but I still thought it was really nice that they gave it to the fans to just really have a blast with this movie. Again, I'm in absolute awe. I adored this movie. I'm gonna give Top Gun Maverick an A+. Yeah, I'm a cloud 9, baby. I want to go rewatch this movie again. I highly, 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 highly suggest you go see this movie opening weekend, or if you don't get to go see it this weekend, go back the next weekend. Yes, it'll be cool watching it on home video or streaming, but you need to see this on the biggest screen possible, please. Support this movie. I know how much Tom Cruise wanted to be seen on the big screen, and because you have the option to, you might as well do it. But thank you so much for watching this review, and if you did enjoy it, consider giving it a like as well as subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss any further videos. We're going into the summer season, baby. This is the summer blockbuster where we got a plenty to come, and I'm going to be talking about it all summer long. My name is Ben, people call me Meter, and look forward to more videos coming soon.